Hey everybody. Um, I decided to make another video this month, specifically about immigration. There's been a lot of stuff on CNN, in the news, and other places, especially in my classroom, where the immigration debate has come up. Okay, y'all. I come back to kind of respond to a few things that have been going on in my life. The main issue is this immigration issue. Um, it's really sad. Republicans are so narrow-minded and so confused and epistemologically bankrupt that they would say, that this Arizona bill is not racial profiling. It clearly is. You're trying to ask people to produce papers that they're of their citizenship. Like, what the fuck is this like? You know, back in the slavery days where we asked black people to show the slave hunters their papers. That shit doesn't matter. Like, I think that people will still fabricate cases to, get people deported, even though they are documented. And I think there's like people like Sarah Palin are trying to say, oh, this Obama, is just wrong to assume that this bill has any facet of racial profiling. That's fucking bullshit. 9 times out of 10, the person that's going to be asked about their citizenship is going to be somebody of Latino descent, or more specifically, Mexicans, especially in Arizona. And it's really fucked up that a lot of other places are starting to follow the trends that this Arizona law has produced, like Alabama, racist fucking state. Example, their gubernatorial candidate Tim Jones has put out a campaign video that basically entails that we speak English in Alabama. And it's just like, really? I didn't know that. And he's basically characterizing undocumented people as a burden, that they shouldn't be here and that they should learn English if they want to be in this country. And I think it's kind of fucked up that you just impose these type of linguistic barriers on people and force them to try to learn this shit and not even give them real help and understand their stories of why they're here. Another troubling issue for me is that I was grading persuasive speeches in my communications class, my intro to communication class that I teach. One of my students did a persuasive speech on why we shouldn't allow undocumented people to America, that they're more of a burden than a benefit. He characterized them as taking cheap labor and not really caring. He said that they don't pay taxes, they stealing our jobs, and they bring the potential of disease. And I'm like, how much more prejudiced, discriminatory, and racist can you be, sir? I didn't really know what to say or how to respond to that at that moment because I was kind of sick. I'm kind of getting over food poisoning, but it was just like surreal that you are sitting here as a white male saying these things that have most of them have been unproven, and two, in a classroom where there are Mexican students and students of Latino descent. And how dare you try to take snipes at an issue as sensitive as that? And I didn't necessarily know he was going to take the stance that illegal immigration is bad or undocumented individuals are bad. And he even used the term aliens, illegal aliens. That shit is just wrong. It's just like a lot of people who immigrate to this country, if they identify or they realize that they like to be called undocumented. And I mean, I just think that it's really terrible that we are trying to impose our linguistic characteristics on people who probably just want to come here to get a better life, who want to help their families, who are coming from social conditions that they can't help, that Mexican government and the opportunities in Mexico may not be beneficial for them, so they have to come to America. And it's like, if you actually dialogue with people that are from Mexico that have lived through this, who have come here, become documented, or people that are even undocumented, it's a struggle and it's a long process. And I can't even say how much sympathy I feel for people and how much I empathize with undocumented people that come here, because they're making a big risk and they're only trying to create a better world and a better future for their children and their families. And I have friends that are undocumented, and I feel sorry a lot of times for them to know that they can't get adequate health care or adequate access to medical clinics, or they have to worry about their schooling, they have to worry about how to just live, how to get a license. Like, all this stuff is just something that a lot of us take for granted, and we don't recognize the privileges that we have. And a lot of people just like to brush it off and say, oh, we're born with these rights and we were here. And it's just like, a lot of people don't get awarded that right. And I think that we need to, think about this situation with more complexity and understand where a lot of these people are coming from. And I'm sure that if we go to other countries, they don't say, oh, we speak Spanish only, Portuguese only, patois only, French only. That's just not the case. America has been able to use its language to impose and dominate places all over the globe. And so when other people come here, it's just like, no, you speak English or nothing at all. And I think that's very fucking insensitive. And it's very much a facet of white supremacy. Whether people like it or not, linguistically it is. It is acting as a policing mechanism to calcify the American language into something that is universal. And I don't think it's universal. Everybody doesn't want to fucking learn English. I mean, maybe some people should, try to embrace learning a second language, I just don't know. But all I do know is that the main immigrants, and especially illegal immigrants in this country, are white people. We never try to get into that conversation where white people came here from Europe with all their so-called good intentions and fucking just pillaged Native Americans, took them off their land, put them in boarding schools, did all types of shit to try to assimilate them, cut their hair, strip them of their culture mostly, and, engage in a process of intermixing and raping of their women. It's just like fucking crazy. I don't know undocumented people that have come here and done that to the people that live here already. Like, that is just a double standard that is set up. And I don't care what arguments you come up against that, but it's just a fucking truth. It's a reality of how the formation of America existed, by fucking over people that existed in this continent before Europeans. And I don't know, I just have many words, but I'd like to hear your comments on this issue and what I should do about the student in my class. I mean, because I watched the faces of the Mexican students and the Latino students as this was being made. They weren't quite pleasant. And in a sense, I feel like I abandoned my intellectual responsibility to speak out against this. I didn't want to interrupt him in his speech, but it was like some of the students were looking at me to respond or to say something about it. But I'll probably do it in private. I don't know. But yeah, that's it for now. Peace, y'all.